Disney originally had two Star Wars movies slated for release in 2026, but now it's down to just one. The studio has pulled the December 18, 2026 project off the calendar, which was believed to be, but wasn't certain, the one that would feature Daisy Ridley's return as Rey. Ice Age 6, which was announced at D23 Brazil just last week, will take its place. The other Star Wars movie still slated for release in 2026 is The Mandalorian and Grogu, which will be released in theaters on May 22, 2026. Honestly, I think it's for the best. As much as Disney might want Star Wars to be another Marvel-like big-screen franchise, it just isn't. Plus, given how long it takes Disney to develop these Star Wars projects, I doubt they could keep up that schedule. There's no shortage of Star Wars movies in development. It was recently announced that Simon Kinberg, Dark Phoenix, had signed on to write and produce a new Star Wars trilogy. It's believed that Daisy Ridley will have a role to play in the new trilogy, but she's also attached to Charmin Obaid-Chinoy's Ms. Marvel standalone Rey movie, which takes place 15 years after the events of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and finds Rey attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has previously teased the movie. The First Order has fallen. The Jedi are in chaos. There's even a question of how many exist anymore, and Rey's building the new Jedi Order, based on the training that she was given and that Luke imparted on her. The project was meant to have been in production already, but it recently lost Stephen Knight, Peaky Blinders, as writer. Some of the other movies which are still in the works include the Lando movie written by Donald Glover, a Taika Waititi project, and a project directed by James Mangold, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, that takes place 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga and explores the first Jedi and the discovery of the Force. It was something that Jim Mangold immediately sparked to, and I think it's a really nice compliment to what we're doing with moving into the future with Rey, and then understanding a bit more of where this all came from, Kennedy explained. Because it will be at the heart of creating the new Jedi Order, so to get a real sense of where that might have began with the dawn of the Jedi could be pretty cool. Disney reveals the Fantastic Four First Steps official synopsis, and confirms that Marvel's first family will face Galactus and Silver Surfer in their first MCU movie. Matt Shakman's The Fantastic Four First Steps is set to introduce the MCU's Fantastic Four through a different timeline than Earth 616. While it's unknown whether the team's alternate universe also has its own version of the Avengers, it certainly has a Silver Surfer and a Galactus, who will also make their MCU debut in Phase 5. 8 months before the release date of the Fantastic Four First Steps, Disney has revealed the official synopsis for the film, which confirms that the Fantastic Four First Steps will be set in the 1960s, Galactus will be the main villain, and the Silver Surfer will be the Herald of Galactus. Now let's get to the synopsis. Set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s-inspired, retrofuturistic world, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps introduces Marvel's first family: Reed Richards / Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal, Sue Storm / Invisible Woman, Vanessa Kirby, Johnny Storm / Human Torch, Joseph Quinn, and Ben Grimm / The Thing, Eben Mossbackrack, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, Ralph Ineson, and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer, Julia Garner. And if Galactus' planned to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. The Fantastic Four First Steps official synopsis reveals that the Fantastic Four's main villain will be Galactus, who will likely arrive to consume Earth, as he often attempts in the source material. While the synopsis also confirms that Julia Garner's Silver Surfer will serve as Galactus' herald, it doesn't include any clues about the change of heart Norrinrad usually experiences the first time he visits Earth. Since the Fantastic Four First Steps takes place in an alternate universe with a different Silver Surfer, it's possible that Galactus and Silver Surfer's goals will be slightly different this time. The final line in the Fantastic Four First Steps synopsis may drop a hint at a long-expected character introduction. The fact that the Fantastic Four's conflict suddenly gets very personal suggests that Galactus and Silver Surfer won't be the only threats to Earth. Usually, the Fantastic Four's most personal enemy is Doctor Doom, who holds a lifelong grudge against Reed Richards and his family. Hence, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom could make his MCU debut as a secondary antagonist in the Fantastic Four First Steps before his main villain role in Avengers: Doomsday. Is Dwayne Johnson still as big of a star as he seems to think he is? That's the question that will be at the tip of everyone's tongue this weekend, with his latest four-quadrant family film, Red One, opening to an underwhelming $34 million domestically. While that's not a truly terrible number, What makes it sting more than it would otherwise is that the movie carries an astronomical budget of at least $200 million, meaning the movie may rightly or wrongly be viewed as something of a flop. Consider this: Black Adam, which has a reputation for being a flop, still opened with about twice what Red One did. Unless word of mouth is terrific, Red One might have difficulty crawling to $100 million domestically. Yet, it may not be as big of a flop as some think. The fact is, it was designed as a streaming movie for Prime Video, so one could view the theatrical release as an extended tease for its inevitable streaming launch. With a holiday theme, I'd expect it to premiere on Prime within weeks, which may hurt its long-term box office viability. Still, it opened with about $9 million more than I thought it would, and the A- cinema score rating isn't half bad. Venom: The Last Dance slid into second place, with a third weekend total of $7.35 million, adding up to a $127 million total, posting a 54% decline from last week. While that's not an amazing domestic total for a superhero film, overseas, Venom 3 has been a blockbuster, with it on the cusp of breaking $500 million internationally before long. Lionsgate's The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is on track to become their highest-grossing film of the year, making $5.4 million for a total of just under $20 million. It should be able to pass Lionsgate's biggest earner of the year so far, The Strangers Chapter 1, which made $35 million domestically. Ouch, $35 million is their best? It's been a bad year for this studio. Meanwhile, A24's Heretic fell 52%, which is a solid number for a horror movie, to a second weekend gross of $5.3 million and a $20.4 million total, which ain't bad for a movie that cost under $10 million. The Wild Robot rounded out the top 5 with $4.3 million and a $137 million total, while Smile 2 started to wrap up its run with $2.9 million in sixth place. The $65 million total is far below the $100 million plus made by the first film, but it still performed well for an R-rated horror film. Another movie that's proven to be a word-of-mouth hit is Focus Features' Conclave. The film only fell 28% this weekend and made $2.85 million for a $26 million gross. It's nice to see an adult drama having such staying power, which is also the case for Sean Baker's Honora, which is further down the chart in 10th place with $1.8 million and a $10.5 million gross for Neon. The Filipino romantic comedy sequel Hello, Love again came out of nowhere to make $2.3 million on only 250 screens. It had the highest per-screen average of the week, with $9.3 thousand per screen. Finally, Searchlight's Sundance breakout, A Real Pain, had a solid wide break with $2.3 million in ninth place. Conan O'Brien has been tapped to host the biggest night in Hollywood, as the former late-night talk show host has been announced to host next year's Oscars. The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences extended an invite to the beloved comedic host, and he has graciously accepted. The ceremony is set to take place at the Dolby Theater at 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Sunday, March 2, 2025. The prestigious event of the film industry will be televised live on ABC in more than 200 territories around the world. Academy CEO Bill Kramer and President Janet Yang announced Friday morning in a statement, "We are thrilled and honored to have the incomparable Conan O'Brien host the Oscars this year. He is the perfect person to help lead our global celebration of film with his brilliant humor, his love of movies, and his live TV expertise. His remarkable ability to connect with audiences will bring viewers together to do what the Oscars do best: honor the spectacular films and filmmakers of this year." O'Brien added, "America demanded it, and now it's happening. Taco Bell's new cheesy chalupa supreme." In other news, I'm hosting the Oscars. Conan's illustrious career in the late-night game came to an end in 2021, and since then, he's been focusing on a more stripped-down format with his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, as well as his new spin on the travel show genre with the Max original series Conan O'Brien Must Go. Craig Erwich, the president of Disney Television Group, which oversees ABC, has also made a statement. Conan is a preeminent comedic voice whose decades-long success is marked by his distinctive humor and perspective. He joins an iconic roster of comedy greats who have served in this role, and we are so lucky to have him center stage for the Oscars. Producers of the last Oscars telecast, Raj Kapoor and Katie Mullen, have added, "Conan has all the qualities of a great Oscars host. He's incredibly witty, charismatic, and funny, and has proven himself to be a master of live event television. We are so looking forward to working with him to deliver a fresh, exciting, and celebratory show for Hollywood's biggest night." Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, share it with your family and friends. Click on the like button and activate the bell. Comment on what you liked about the video and tips for future videos. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos. See you soon. God bless you.